Everything you need to know about getting a nose job in a different state or country. My name's Bree. I got my nose job in Dallas, Texas. I live in Michigan, and it is exactly 11 months old today. I went to Dr. Stefan Schweib. I'll put the name right here at the top. He's on Instagram and TikTok, and he did amazing. The number one question I get asked more than anything else is how much did my nose job cost? In January of 2025, it was $15,000 to get a rhinoplasty with him. There was no rib taken out. There was no extra. I've never had a prior nose job, rhinoplasty. It was just $15,000 flat with him, and it ended up being about $18,000 in total with my flight, my friend's flight, and then our stay. The next question I get asked more than anything is when did I fly in, when was surgery, and when did I fly out? I flew in on a Monday, had consultation, I got surgery on Tuesday morning, and then I flew out on Friday afternoon. So I was about 72 hours post-op from surgery. Yes, it did hurt. Yes, there was a lot of pressure. No, I didn't die. You will survive. Honestly, going on a plane was probably the height of my pain, and it wouldn't have gotten that bad if I didn't go on a plane, but I would have to say it was about a 7.5, 8 on the pain scale. It wasn't anything unbearable. It wasn't excruciating. But the overall experience with his team, him, everyone was 1,000 out of 10. They're amazing. They're so nice. I swear, the people on his team are so freaking amazing. They will give you their personal numbers. They'll make sure that you're so comfortable every step of the way. My surgery was 6 months out from the day that I booked it. And I could hit them up on a random Tuesday and be like, hey, is this okay to be doing a few weeks before surgery? Whatever it was, I could send them a picture and be like, should I get this? And they would respond within 2 hours at the latest. They're so good. Even after, they were so good with the follow-ups and stuff. I wouldn't even have to reach out to them. They would be asking me how I was doing. I also get asked a lot if he has payment plans. I know he doesn't do care credit, but I know that he does do some kind of payment plan through his office. Another question I get asked a lot is how I did the consultation. I did the consultation on a Zoom. I sent him pictures with a white background, my nose all which way, and then he looked at it. I think we got on a Zoom call 2 days later, and he basically just told me what it would be what would happen, what I can expect. I sent him pictures of what I wanted. He sent me pictures back of this is as far as I can take your nose. I can't literally give you Cindy Wolf's nose, which I wanted, but could you imagine me with Cindy Wolf's nose? Another thing I get asked about a lot, which I feel rightfully so, is the first week after surgery. For me, I've had 2 surgeries, and when I come out of surgery, the day doesn't exist. That day that I come out of surgery and the day after does not exist. And usually the days after are very, very foggy. I wasn't in excruciating pain. It's more of if you have a bruise in your leg and you go to move your leg and you realize oh shit, that hurts. It was kind of the same thing. So I just laid in bed and had the TV positioned. I positioned myself and had the TV exactly in eyesight. So I didn't have to move my face a lot. And that's just kind of how I dealt with surgery. But I wouldn't say it's anything that is crazy pain. It really wasn't. It was literally got to an 8 at the worst, but it stayed consistently right after surgery. And then I flew home, and that day, and the next day was an 8, and then it went back down to a 5. It probably would have stayed at a 5 if I didn't have to fly. Oh, also, I get a lot of questions on aftercare and how soon after I started doing the Neil Med spray and stuff. I did that directly the next morning after surgery. You're supposed to start doing the saline rinses 24 hours after. You could get a blood clot or just can't breathe. That's another thing. I cannot smell for the life of me after my nose job. I know that this isn't this for everybody, but I probably have an 80% non-smell capacity. So I think that would mean I can smell at 20% capacity now. I literally can't smell anything ever. At all. Ever. At first it was I felt so claustrophobic when I couldn't smell anything, because it's one of your senses, so you rely on it. But as time's gone on, I've just gotten used to not being able to properly smell, which is probably dangerous. I could have a gas leak in my house and I would just be I don't smell anything. Also, another thing I just want to say really quickly is if there's one thing that I regret about my nose job, one thing I regret is not getting it done sooner. That's it. Same with my boobs. I should have gotten my boobs and my nose done when I was 19 years old, and I also love going under the knife. I love being put under. Oh, best sleep I've ever gotten. I love being put under. I do have a video of me taking off my cast and seeing it for the first time. And even though it was swollen, I could see like how good it was going to be. Oh my God. I was in love with my nose since the very first time I took off my cast. I looked at it and I was like, this is what we've been searching for our whole lives. Like, this was the nose that I felt like I was supposed to be born with. So if you're nervous about going to him, I promise you, don't be nervous. You're going to love it straight off of the cast. And do you know how rare it is? If you're someone who's looking into nose jobs, you know how rare it is for someone to love their nose straight off the cast. I was expecting to literally hate my nose. I took it off and I was like, oh my God, it was just such a good day. And I'm just so thankful that I found Dr. Schweeb. He's literally the best. If you have any other nose job questions, drop them down. I'll answer all of them in the comments this time, I promise you. Oh, how long did I tape my nose for? I think for about a month after surgery. That's all he said I had to do. And then I would do it like 3-4 times a week after that first month where I taped it all the time. And then even sometimes during the day I would tape it. Obviously when I fly now I still tape it, but like I don't ever tape my nose at all anymore. And like even the nostrils like are so natural and symmetrical. The tip